This is NBA 2K24. We're here on Xbox Series X, taking a look at the current gen version of the game. And we are incredibly late in doing so, as we do typically have access a lot sooner. So be sure to help me out by liking the video, and subscribing is great as well. So this is the latest 2K, basketball experience. It's a bit more of a year of refinements, slight adjustments, and slight changes. As per usual, we're getting a 4K resolution at 60 FPS. There is HDR support. We now have crossplay for the current gen consoles, local play up to 4, online up to 10. Very much your usual modes and offerings in regards to basically just how it runs and how it looks. I mean, obviously this is your basketball option. This is the only simulation you have. And from a gameplay perspective, it's pretty great. Like, I mean, it runs the game well, it looks good. I find the AI grueling for myself, but you know, other players, they seem to just absolutely coast by. So good for you guys out there. Hopefully next year I can win some more matches in my stream of this. Anyways, yeah, I mean, like, you don't have competition, and I know there's a lot of the microtransaction of it all. But, you know, the game does run fine, it does look good, it's smooth, it's vibrant, it's detailed. You know, it does have that current-gen flair and style, but they are sort of, at least aesthetically, coasting off of what we saw when they did the big switch to the current gen a few years ago. So, you know, it's not like they've wildly evolved the aesthetics and the visuals of the experience past that. So they have worked on some new animations this year. So that is basically a change, like all sports games have, is that now all certain stars and stuff have realistic to their styles kind of movements and stuff. So if you've got like an all-star that you kind of love and enjoy seeing in action, now to some degree some of them will be playing a little bit more like their real-life counterparts, with some specific animations and styles that are kind of in line with that. Like I said though, it's not anything too crazy. It's sort of a style that we're used to from other sporting games, because they all really seem to do that kind of thing, right? But yeah, kind of neat. So as per usual, we've got your regular career, your seasons, your player management. There's like a bit of a story mode. New this time around is something they call the W. So that's, I guess, the WNBA. There's now a specific storyline set up and modes and character options around the WNBA. So if you're into that, you now have a larger, more well-rounded offering to enjoy and play. So that's kind of a nice touch, I suppose you would say, if you're into that setup there. There's also a Mamba mentality kind of thing, so you get to revisit the career of the great. You know, if you're wanting to kind of see how he built up his stardom and stuff, so that's kind of a fun mode. They kind of do something like that in the WWE games, where it's kind of like you get to see some big moments and action-packed segments and stuff, and yeah, I guess that's kind of cool. The online shared universe thing is back, and it's a little tighter, of kind of like a island, tropical island sort of thing. Like, it's a little tighter of a setup, and you move through it a little bit quicker if you're into that particular mode. That's kind of cool. It's got all the teams, legacy teams, WNBA teams. Basically, yeah, everything you would sort of expect this game to have. It just kind of builds upon the foundations of the previous years. You know, it's hard to do these each year, as you sit there and you're like, okay, you kind of cross off the new stuff, and then you kind of move on quickly, right? And it's sort of not a whole swath of new things, You got your local stuff, you got your online stuff, you got your different modes, you got your card mode. You're building up your my team. You got your my player options and career. It's it's about the same. You know what I mean? Like it's different. At least I guess now you get a hoop in paradise, like I mentioned. It's actually like a cool little tropical kind of place in the backstar or backdrop of your my career setup, and yeah, it's really very iterative. That is the biggest thing to get across. There's lots of camera angles and perspectives for how you play too. If you want to switch things up, aesthetically, it captures the feel and the vibe of the NBA, including all of the great advertisements and everything like that, which is fun. And lots of different microtransactional options, of course, as you would expect. And that is always a pitfall of people's opinions on this one, I would say for sure, is how wild that goes. But, I mean, big money in the sports games. I'm sure a number of people have, kind of sat there and done that sort of thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist to the degree that they do. So it's, yeah, I would say largely a year of refinement, slight improvements. Obviously, the full crossplay kind of thing for the current gen is cool. The expansion of the WNBA is intriguing if you're into that sort of thing. It's nice to see that get some more love and growth and change and improvement over time. And then the Mamba mode is kind of cool if you're into that, which I'm assuming a lot of people are. If you seriously follow basketball, it would be kind of like, yeah, it's just seeing an all-star with a deeper kind of connection of things, right? Like it's nice. But I really do. I sit there at times and I'm kind of like, what more do you really sort of add to some of these sports games? They're so full on features and content and things you can interact with and stuff you can do. You got your local offline stuff, you got your trading cards, you got your online stuff, you got your online kind of story hub world thing with weird narrative stuff going on, and you get to kind of forge your own path and career, and it's very much like, if you grab basketball every year, you're probably gonna grab it again this year. If you've waited a few years, it's a pretty solid, fine version of the game, as is kind of expected. If you're wondering if you're going to get something like crazy and innovative, I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case, but, it's a very clean, well-presenting, well-set-up, current-gen basketball game. I don't really know what else to expect from it unless they wanted to really push the visuals even further and stuff, but, I mean, you've got a really shiny, clear, realistic court with reflective elements. You've got reactive crowds that are dynamic, unique. There's all this little side stuff going on, different, like, film crews, Gatorade stuff. It captures the sport, it captures the feeling of it. It's something that tons of people can enjoy from all different age groups and whatnot, and you can have fun playing basketball and enjoying the action of it in the simulated situation. And I think there's that's what more can you expect out of it, right? That very much is the feeling and the style of the sport, is to be able to go in, enjoy, and experience what it has to offer. Compete against a lot of other players online in different ways, and squads or just quick matches. And it's the latest version of NBA 2K, right? I mean, we'll probably be back next year doing that kind of again. I hope we get back on track. It was kind of crazy considering last year's video that I did for this was the most popular one I had yet of the NBA series, and then basically ghosted by 2K on covering this one and having to do it way later off the Game Pass, basically, which is crazy. But I do kind of have some fun jumping in here, having some laughs, playing some basketball every now and then. I'm not crazy high quality player of NBA, as you're clearly seeing as I'm blowing this lead, but I'll jump in, have a laugh, shoot some hoops, have a decent time with it, experience what it has to offer, play the different modes, check out things. It's an enjoyable experience. I have a good time with it. I'm sure lots of other people do. Otherwise, it wouldn't be such a crazy popular series all the time, right? But you gotta be kidding me. Sometimes I just can't catch a break in these matches. You know what I mean? So I guess at that point, I'm just going to leave space for non-commentary gameplay, so you can just see it in action if you want to, and see how it is.
Toronto has gone 0 for 3 from deep to begin the second. Outside Olynyk. And the Raptors miss again. And here are the Pistons. This run now up to 13-2. Ivy uses the glass on the layup. Now it's a 6-point Pistons lead.
Yeah, their defense is starting to wear down. That's 3 straight buckets at the rim.
Olynyk passes to Boucher. And stolen by Stewart. Pass to Ivy. Over quickly. Ivy's shot is off. Trent for 3. Oh, he released it in time, but it's off the mark. And so we wrap up the first half. Pistons ahead, up 6. And don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
Well, all right, fellas, back in your playing days, what was your favorite city to eat in?
Whatever city Kitty was in, I'd go steal his lunch, then we beat his team.
And now let's focus on our game. A strong first half for the Detroit Pistons.
So far, they're being the more...
That does it for halftime. Let's get back to...
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been a fairly even one. Here's Barrett. They've got Gary Trent. He's out there with Emmanuel Quickly. Kelly Olynyk is out there with R.J. Barrett. And it's Abaji in at the power forward position. That's the group starting the second half for Darko Rajakovic. And the foul called on Emmanuel Quickly. That's his first foul.
And yeah, he still was moving at the point of contact.
Here's Fontecchio. Knocks it loose. Barrett against Ivy. Pulls it in from the elbow. Abaji with a rebound. Toronto trailing. Smitty, you look at the Pistons. One thing they do really well, they get themselves to the line.
Well, BA, look at the players on the roster. These guys are aggressive. They like to get downhill, and they are not afraid of contact.
And here's Ivy from the arc. Toronto grabs the miss.
At some point, when you recognize someone's this out of rhythm, you have to shift to something else.
Barrett can't hit. And here's Cunningham. He'll bring it up for Detroit. Here's Fontecchio. The shot's good on the assist by Cunningham. Fontecchio's got 7 points.
You just love how reliable he is night in and night out. His offense is there.
Shot is good by Barrett.
3 out of 4 coming out of the half, showing good execution on the offensive end.
Stewart outside to the inside. Here's Duran. Nice pass, nice catch, and a resounding dunk.
I like how Isaiah Stewart found a teammate there. Impressive passing for a big.
And that one's good with extra effort on the glass. 11 points in the game.
Hustle points count just like any others. That's a great play.
Cunningham passes to Stewart. Back to Cunningham. There's a double team quickly. Stewart's got space. Rebound by Olynyk.
Yeah, he's kicking himself. No defenders to be found in that mid-range area.
For the tie. Yep, count it. Quickly's got his first 2 points of the night.
Hey, they're just getting pushed around inside.
For Detroit, they've gone 2 of 5 in this third quarter. Pass to Ivy. And here's Cunningham. And you look at the numbers, currently around 22.5 points a game. Clock at 6. Launches a 3. Cunningham attacks for 3.
For Cade, consistently knocking down threes, it'll open up the rest of the court.
Here's Trent. It's good.
Impressive. I mean, challenging at the rim against length. You just have to love the aggressiveness.
And let's forget the height disadvantage. He brings the effort, and he brings the energy.
And the Pistons call time here. And the Raptors with some changes. Boucher's checked in for Olynyk, and it's Dick in for Barrett. Thompson, he's checked in for Detroit. Flynn comes in for Cunningham. Pass to Duren. 1 minute left to play in the third quarter. Lets it fly. Nails the baby hook. Duren's got 4 points now in the quarter.
When it's this close, every bucket matters. You need good looks.
Here's Dick. Rebounded by the Pistons. And at home for the next game, it'll be Charlotte pulling in to face him. That game marks the start of a 4-game homestand for the club. And the foul called on Emmanuel quickly. That'll be a second foul of the game for the Pistons. Wiseman, he's checked in for Duren. Grimes comes in for Fontecchio. And Cade Cunningham subbed in for Ivy. 36 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Kicks it out to Cunningham. Another three for Detroit.
Their long-range shooting since halftime has been as strong as you could hope for.
The Raptors have gone 6 for 9 in the half. Here's Dick. Good on the 13-footer.
With the utmost belief in his game, he's able to beat opponents in a number of ways. If you can, use up the clock en route to the last shot.
But you know, this is where your patience is tested. If you shoot too quickly, you give your opponent a chance to close out the quarter.
A nice shot by Grimes. Grimes has got 5.
And he's been an ideal teammate tonight. He's really creating plenty of looks with his passing.
There's been an emphasis on ball movement, and he's been a major catalyst.
We're at the end of the third quarter, and we've still got a close one. Pistons ahead. They're up by 3. We've got more in store for you right after this. And let's take this opportunity to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
You can count on him to deliver a few assists like this one each and every night.
You see why they trust him with the ball in his hands. He can make the simple play, and he can pull off the spectacular.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. Setting the floor for Detroit. They've got Wiseman, Malachi Flynn out there with Cunningham. Then it's Thompson, and it's Grimes in at the 3, the small forward. And up the court come the Pistons on the break. Pass to Wiseman. Yeah, that's where he shines. Wiseman throws down the dunk.
What a two-way play. Just tremendous.
Yeah, the steal was slick. The slam topped it off.
Turning defense into offense. Every coach talks about it. Perfect example right there.
And the Pistons call time here. Both teams will make substitutions. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Monty Williams was saying to his team. He told his guys to stay after it, to not get complacent and lazy with this lead. He wants them to keep adding to it. We'll see if they're able to do it, guys.
Okay, thank you, Allie. Trent from long range. Oh, again, Toronto with a triple.
Overall, their shot selection has been much better here in the second half. We'll see if the rest of their game follows suit.
Duren, and he makes no mistake. Slam dunk.
Here's my question. Where is the defensive communication?
It's been that way all night. Each team just trying to outscore the other.
He buries it from 3.
It's all about floor spacing. Every coach Olynyk has played for loves to use him in that role.
Duren, the pass to Cunningham. Duren, the screen. Out left to the wing. Three-pointer, Stewart. Quickly with the rebound. The Raptors have gone a perfect 3 for 3 here in the fourth. Here's Trent. Chance there to take the lead, but a miss. And so Cunningham will bring it up for the Pistons. It's a 1-point game. They get it back. And it's flushed down. A nice jam.
And now that's a momentum momentum builder for sure. So important in a close game.
Look at his teammates here. They love it. Plays like that going to get them going.
They're bringing the energy, the hustle, the fight, and they also didn't give up.